Hey everybody, it's Tara here. Today I want to share with you the 5 WordPress plugins that I recommend to every entrepreneur that I work with. Doesn't matter what kind of website you have, what you're using it for, I think that you should have all of these 5 plugins. Or if you're not going to use these exact plugins, then I recommend that you find one that you do like. But you need these plugins to serve these functions, essentially. But before I begin, I want to say hi to everybody who's watching. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know some of you have WordPress websites already and you have plugins that you're really happy with using. So I'd love it if you could jump in and let me know if these are the plugins you use or if you have any other recommendations. Hi Karen, hi Sarah, and I believe Darren is on as well. Yes, hi everybody. So let's begin. The very first one that I think you should have is a contact form plugin, and the one that I like is actually the industry standard. It's the #1 contact form plugin used, I believe, I think it still is Contact Form 7 by Takayuki Mayoshi. And when you're going to download this, it's called Contact Form 7. It should have something like hundreds of thousands of downloads, I believe. Anyway, I think that every website should have a contact form, even if you have like your phone number and email address on there, your social media pages, you should have a contact form as well, because you want to make it super, super easy for people to contact you. You don't want them to have to hunt around, take extra steps to open up their Gmail and put in your email address. And I know that doesn't sound like very much, but online people have very short attention spans, and it can just be a split second too long and they'll hit the back button and go somewhere else. It's really easy to hit the back button. So I recommend having a WordPress plugin. I really like Contact Form 7. Karen says, I have WordPress.com's websites, not .org's. I don't think I can have plugins. I believe that WordPress.com does have some plugins you can use, but it is very, very limited. And I highly recommend, Karen, when you decide which direction you're going to be going in with your business, that you do invest in a self-hosted WordPress, which is the .org you're talking about. She says, but I do have a contact form page. Great, good job. All right, so the next one that I have that I want to share with you is one that checks for broken links and broken images on your website. And it's very aptly named Broken Link Checker by Janet Elsts and Vladimir Prelovac. It's really important for me to pronounce people's names correctly because my maiden name is complicated. So, and my name is Tara, not Tara, and while I do respond to both, my name is Tara. So anyway, my point is I'm sensitive to people pronouncing people's names correctly. So it's called Broken Link Checker by Janet Elsts and Vladimir Prelovac. And basically the reason why I think you should be checking for broken links and images on your website is because you want to maintain as professional a presence as possible. I mean, you can have social media pages, Yelp, you can be on different directories, whatever, but your website is 100% you. So you want to make sure that it's properly and professionally representing you. Now you could go in and check your images and all your links every single day, but 2 things about that. One, the likelihood of you doing that every single day all through your website is very low. Actually, 3 things. That's the first one. The second one is that it would take so much time. And third is that you're likely not even going to do it to begin with. And it's not a good use of your time. That's number 3. So this plugin basically scans your website every day or whatever interval you set for broken links and images, and it notifies you, and you can go in and fix it. It has a really a very effective interface, so you don't have to like hop around and stuff. You can fix it right then and there. And then there are some other little more complex options with it too, but at the very basic level, that's what it does, and it's great. So check that out. The third plugin, I think you should be constantly backing up your website, and my favorite is one of the top backup plugins in the WordPress world, which is Updraft Plus by the updraftplus.com team. Updraftplus.com. I really like it because it can be very simple and very complex, It is the best free backup plugin that I've ever used. I really like it also because it can back up to many different locations. So if you want to get emails with your backups, you can, although I don't recommend that at all because the files can get really big and your email isn't a place to store files. You can go to your email, you can choose to send it to Dropbox, to Google Drive, to OneDrive. I personally like to use Google Drive just because I manage my business with Google Drive, so obviously I want all of my files in one place. So yeah, I highly recommend that you use Updraft Plus. You can, also you can schedule backups as well. You can say like once every 2 weeks or every day or whatever it is you want to do. The fourth plugin I recommend is WP Smush by WPMU Dev. Basically what it does is whenever you upload an image to your website, it compresses it. Now, before I go into more about that, I want to say the reason why this is really important is because you want your users to have a really good user experience on your website. Otherwise, maybe they won't think as highly of your brand, or they'll press that easy to access back button and just back away. So many things slow down a website, and one of those things is large images. So what WP Smush does is whenever you upload an image to your website, it'll optimize that image in a couple of different ways. The main way it does that is by stripping some of the coding of the file. And I could get into really technical terms, but essentially that's what it does. Now, it doesn't actually decrease the quality of the image at all. Honestly, you don't even notice a difference most of the time. But it does make a really big difference in making the file sizes smaller, so the website will load more quickly for your visitors. So that one is WP Smush by WPMU Dev. And by the way, I haven't said this yet, but I'm going to put all the names and links to these plugins in the comments below so you can be sure which ones you're downloading and that you're downloading the right one. And the last one is one that I'm sure many of you have heard of, is Yoast SEO by Team Yoast, and that's Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T. That one is for search engine optimization. SEO, if you're not familiar with what SEO is, it's basically the art and science of getting your website highly ranked on Google search engines. Yoast SEO is a very powerful free SEO plugin, and you can do so much with it. And the reason why I really like it is because you should be hiring SEO experts to do your SEO because it is a very complicated thing. But if you're just getting started at the very basic level, you can use Yoast SEO to grade your pages and posts based on best practices, and it'll give you a grade like good, bad, average, whatever. So if you have like a bad rating, then you can go through and see, okay, what are the things I can improve so Google can properly find and index this post or this page. Karen says, haha, good, I was spelling them all phonetically. Oh, so when I spelled out Yoast. Yeah, I wanted to spell everything else out earlier too, and I realized I'll just put it in the comments, but I didn't want you guys thinking like Yoast. What is she saying? Y-O-A-S-T, Yoast. So yeah, and then the other thing with Yoast SEO too is a lot of SEO stuff requires you to touch the code of your website. And if you're not a developer, you really should not be messing with the code. And if you know just a little bit of code still, I really recommend that you don't touch it unless you make a backup first and you're very well prepared to restore that backup. You're welcome, Karen. You're very prepared to restore that backup. So what I like about Yoast SEO is that you can make changes to your website that will make changes to the code without you having to touch that code. So pretty simple. Those are the 5 WordPress plugins that I use on every one of my websites and my clients' websites as well. A contact form plugin, I use Contact Form 7 by Takayuki Miyoshi. And then I like to have a broken link checker checking plugin, and I use the one called Broken Link Checker by Janet Elst and Vladimir Prelovec. And I have a backup plugin that I really like called Updraft Plus by updraftplus.com. I like to have image compressing plugins, and I use WP Smush by WPMU Dev. And the last one I really like using is Yoast SEO to manage all of my search engine optimization needs, and that is by Team Yoast. So I would love to know if any of you guys use these plugins, what you think, what your experience is like, and if you have any other recommendations. And if you have a plugin that you believe is essential to every website that you use or have ever managed that isn't listed or isn't in the list that I just shared with you, I want to know what that is. So that's what I have to share with you today. I will see you next time. Bye.